Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about 25 secret features, hidden details, and more that you might not know about the gun running DLC. So as always, my goal with this video is to hopefully teach you at least one new thing that you didn't know about, and if I do that, then my job is complete. But of course, with out of the way, let's not waste any more time, and let's get it started. So, number one, the Oppressor cannot be used in time trials. So this was pretty funny, and I actually talked about this on my live stream the other day, but it's pretty clear that Rockstar knew about the overpoweredness of this vehicle. So if you approach the time trial blue circle in an Oppressor, it's actually going to tell you that you can't use it with this vehicle, which is a little unfortunate, but I can totally see that being just super overpowered as far as being able to do all the time trials. So unfortunately, we won't be able to use this brand new vehicle. Speaking of not being able to use these brand new vehicles, at the number 2 spot, the gun running vehicles in Heist. So it's a little tricky because vehicles like the APC and the Oppressor cannot be used. However, other vehicles like the Dune FAV can be used. So I don't know what provision Rockstar has put on certain vehicles, but you need to keep trying them out in various other things as well, like contact missions. We saw that with import-export vehicles too, that in some scenarios they could be used and in others they could not. Well, it looks as if it's the exact same thing here regarding these weaponized vehicles and the Heist. So again, that is pretty interesting. At the number 3 spot, did you know that the Weaponized Tampa can actually get a speed boost if you fire the minigun backwards? So the Weaponized Tampa, as you guys know, has a minigun on the back, and if you drive forward but turn the minigun backwards, you'll actually get a significant speed boost. Now, this isn't the most practical way to drive this vehicle at all. In fact, it's probably quite dangerous and probably won't get you anywhere. But if you're driving in a straight line and you need to get away from some enemies, maybe you could turn this around, kind of do like a James Bond style sequence and get a little bit of an extra speed boost by turning around and firing your miniguns backwards. But I thought that was pretty cool, and I wanted to include that in this video. At the number 4 spot, we need to clear up some confusion about the bunker and manufacturing. So one of the biggest questions I've received is, will my bunker continue to produce product even when I'm not in Grand Theft Auto Online? Now, the answer to that is no. However, you must be logged into Grand Theft Auto Online for any of your businesses to make product or research to continue. However, it doesn't matter what you do while you're online, nor does it matter if you're a CEO or a president. So you could be in a race, an adversary mode, a free mode event. Your bunker is going to produce product as long as you are online, which is great because we know it takes a long time for research to be done and certainly the manufacturing of product, so you guys can ultimately make money. But I really do like that feature about the bunker. Something else that's pretty funny about the Oppressor, you guys know that one of the features of the Biker MC Club is to ride as a formation, and when you do that, you're going to match the speed of the leader. What's cool about this is you can use the Oppressor in the formation loadout, and that means that any bike following the Oppressor has to match its speed. So if you use the rocket boost and you have a Faggio in formation, it's going to go flying with you as well, and it's going to have to catch up and match the speed. So I thought that was pretty cool. Probably an unintentional use of the Oppressor and the MC feature that Rockstar added a couple DLCs back, but I thought that was pretty funny, and I'm sure you guys can have an absolute blast pulling off some crazy stunts with that. At the number 6 spot, don't buy a gun locker for the bunker. It is a waste of money. I wish I had known this before I had bought mine. Why, you say? Because there's one that comes by default in the MOC. So if you really want to customize your weapon loadout, all you have to do is go to the Mobile Operations Center. You don't have to go to your bunker, so it is a waste of money if you end up doing that inside of the bunker. So just use it in the MOC. It's a win-win situation. At the number 7 spot, Downforce is broken. So vehicles that have the Downforce stat, such as the Tyrus, the ETR-1, the RE7B, and the Nero Custom, have all had a reduction in downforce effectiveness, which is causing them to have a considerably weaker traction, thus reducing their speed in races and on a track. So I cannot describe this as best as others, so I'll leave a link to a video I watched by Bruffy in the description. If you have time, you should check it out. But just know that vehicles with downforce are now broken, so you might want to stay away from them until Rockstar can put out a proper patch to fix it. Moving on, at the number 8 spot, be careful driving the Dune FAV. Because of its relatively low height to the ground, it makes it especially vulnerable driving through water. So for example, in shallow canals or in rivers, you're actually going to find that this vehicle will be destroyed by the water. It will shut down. And this is especially dangerous because it is a vehicle that you can use for a sail mission, which means all your product on that vehicle would end up being destroyed. So do not drive the Dune FAV through water, as you're likely going to get it shut down, destroyed, and then lose all your product, which of course is not good. All right, up next, we need to answer the age-old question, what is better for the cab of the MOC, the Phantom or the Hauler? And FunMW2 breaks it down pretty nicely. So for the Phantom, it weighs more, it has less drive force, but it has better damage resistance and off-road ability. As far as the Hauler goes, it's less weight, better drive force, its damage resistance isn't that great. If you prefer a truck that smashes hard, choose the Phantom. If you prefer a truck that drives faster, choose the Hauler. Now, there's a couple other things as well. The Phantom is bigger in size, so it's harder to get a more crisp turning radius, but it also has less armor, so you're less protected on the inside and can survive fewer explosions. So that, once again, is a huge debate. I think it all comes down to personal preference, but which one do you guys think is better? Is it the Hauler or the Phantom? Let me know in the comments section down below. Something that I found out that's pretty cool is that you can go inside your bunker even if you have cops on you. So this is something you cannot do in your CEO office or your MC clubhouse, but if you have cops on you, it doesn't matter. All you do is go up to the bunker door and it will let you inside. And then obviously once you're in there, you'll be able to get rid of the cops. So this is a great way in which you can instantly lose a wanted level and completely get rid of the cops just by simply going inside your bunker. Moving on, something you may not know about the anti-aircraft trailer is that you can actually put it on any truck. So by default, it's going to give you a Vapid Saddler, but you can put this on anything like an APC, which is actually incredibly useful. You can pair it with many of the other trucks in game that have hauling abilities. So just because Rockstar puts it on the Saddler doesn't mean you have to keep it on the Saddler. Again, my best recommendation is the APC here. That way you get armor in the front and you get massive anti-air capabilities in the back, which is super awesome. And it's kind of a bonus with the anti-aircraft trailer. I actually had a user tweet this at me, Skyrider. He was trying to paint it chrome, but then obviously it said this item will unlock when you win 38 more races in this class. Well, the anti-aircraft trailer is a trailer. How do you do trailer races? So is it impossible to make a chrome anti-aircraft trailer? Again, I thought that was pretty funny, so thank you for sending me that, Skyrider. Up next at the number 12 spot, getting on the Oppressor will give you a parachute, which is pretty cool. I didn't even know that. I thought that this only happened when you got on something like a helicopter or a plane or a jet, but no, getting on the Oppressor bike will give you a parachute, so that's a nice bonus if you do have to eventually bail out of midair. At the number 13 spot, I've got another question that was, what happens if I buy another bunker? Well, if you buy another bunker, your previous one will be traded in and your MOC will be moved to your new bunker. However, the kicker here, all upgrades on your previous bunker will be lost and will not apply to your new bunker. So be careful choosing another one because you will have to, once again, buy the upgrades for the bunker. They will not carry over for some odd reason because all the interiors are the same. So I don't know why they wouldn't, but I guess that's something that Rockstar just didn't want to do. So be careful when buying or switching a bunker. Similarly to that, at the number 14 spot, be careful when picking out your Mobile Operations Center cab. And if you're unsure, go with the Phantom one, because once you buy your MOC, it will cost the full price of the MOC to change out the cab. So I found out this the hard way as I started with the Phantom, and then I ended up going with the Hauler, but you got to be careful because if you don't, because once you buy the MOC, once again, it will cost you the full price of the Mobile Operations Center just to change out the cab, which is a really expensive price in order to make that change. Moving on, tip number 15, the MOC can actually be destroyed. So it takes a long time, and if you fully upgrade the armor, it takes way more hits than an insurgent to bring it down. I think it was around 20 or 30 sticky bombs in order to get that to go down, and what happens when it does go down is it'll just respawn inside your bunker, similarly to how the special vehicles will respawn inside of your vehicle warehouse. So it's no big deal if your MOC gets destroyed. You won't have to rebuy it. There's no penalty. You just have to go back to your bunker and it'll be waiting for you nice and repaired. Moving on, at the number 16 spot, did you know that the MOC cab can be used in the haulage VIP mission, which will give you a very fast, heavily explosive resistant, and if you have the Phantom bulletproof resistant option cab to complete the mission. And even better is you can restrict the cab's access, preventing anyone from stealing the truck or trailer, which is a nice added bonus when trying to do the haulage VIP mission. At the number 17 spot, if you want to instantly lose your wanted level, well, just go inside the MOC. The second you enter, your wanted level will be gone, and once you do that, you can leave and you will no longer have a wanted level, which I think is a little bit overpowered, but I think it's one of those like good overpowered things because the cops are annoying, and getting rid of them in any way in which you don't have to pay money is a nice bonus. At the number 18 spot, do research first. So I'm referring to what you should assign your staff to inside your bunker. Do research first. It's recommended that you focus on research exclusively first, as it will unlock new items, and you will no longer and it will be no longer needed once all the items are unlocked. So once research is out of the way, you can then focus on your business dealings without ever having to need to divert your staff's attention and supplies. And as a nice bonus feature, you can use all those things you unlocked to help you better carry out all the missions you need to do in order to end up making money, which I think is pretty cool. The number 19 spot, one thing I thought is pretty interesting is you can drive your personal vehicle inside of the bunker. So this is actually pretty nice, especially if you bring like a motorcycle down, because the golf carts are pretty slow and they're really bulky, and I always seem to hit the blockades and bollards and walls. So you can bring a personal vehicle inside of the bunker and drive it around, which I actually think is a nice touch. I'm glad Rockstar didn't restrict that. Moving on, at the number 20 spot, should you sell your product as an MC or a CEO? Well, that's all going to depend on the payouts you want for your associates. So if you end up choosing as a CEO, you only get $5K as far as the associate pay goes. However, if you choose the MC, you're going to get $35,000 for associates, which is awesome. And as a bonus, you can also hire up to 7 people to protect you. Now, I do agree with the CEO, you lose access to Ghost Organization plus the free buzzard and weapons. But if you want to help your friends make the most money, be an MC instead of a CEO. It'll help them out a lot. Moving on, if you're curious about the missile capacity of some of the brand new weaponized vehicles, well, here they are. On the Dune FAV, the grenade launcher has a capacity of 20. The weaponized Tampa, its front missiles, has a capacity of 20, with the mortars of 20 as well. The APC, the SAM battery, has a capacity of 60. The Oppressor missiles have a capacity of 20, and the anti-aircraft trailer homing missile battery has a capacity of 30. And he's not sure about this one. It could be for the dual 20mm flat cannon, and he also found that out from a free mode script. But that is pretty good. It is not unlimited, even though it is in the missions. Again, pretty similar to what Rockstar did with the special vehicle stuff, where you had a Ruiner 2000 with unlimited missiles, but in the free mode version, it's a little bit more limited to keep things balanced. At the 22nd spot, please don't do this, as you only get $2,000 for destroying gun running supplies. It's not worth your time to go destroy someone's hard work for only $2,000 measly dollars. Do something else. Import your own cars, manage your own biker businesses. Don't be a troll and a griefer and destroy other people's stuff. Not only does it really wreck them, but you only get $2,000, which is a waste of your time and a worthless payout. At the number 23 spot, Rockstar seems to have trolled us once again with the railgun, as there is a supply mission that, guess what, requires us to end up getting the railgun. Are you kidding me? I knew this was going to happen, where Rockstar was going to do something like this, where they needed us to go get something like the jetpack or the railgun, and needless to say, that happened. And unfortunately, we still don't have the railgun in the game, but we do see it in the form of one of the resupply missions. Now, at the number 24 spot and 25th spot, we're going to be talking about the business upgrades, what it does for your business, and then the payouts as well. So this is what your business will do with no upgrades. 1 unit of supply is consumed every 1 minute or 60 seconds. 1 unit of stock is created every 10 minutes, with 100 units max in 16 hours and 40 minutes, which is 1,000 minutes. Now, 1 unit sells for $5K in county and $7.5K out of county, which is $550,000 and $750,000 for a full stock. So that's without the upgrades. With all the business upgrades, you can see it sells 1 unit of supplies consumed every 1.4 minutes, 84 seconds. 1 unit of stock created every 7 minutes, with 100 units max in 11 hours and 40 minutes. You can see the difference right there is pretty extreme. And 1 unit of stock sells for $7K in county, 10.5K out of county, which would get you $700K in Blaine County, $1,050,000 inside of the city. And then FunMW2 breaks it down a little bit more. With no upgrades, you can see the values right there, 125, 250, 500. With the staff upgrade or equipment upgrade, it goes to 150, 300, and 600. And then with all the upgrades, it goes to 175, 350, 700, which is basically the exact same thing we looked at. But those are your payouts and the way the businesses will work as far as your gun running update, the supplies, and how you should go about selling them. But that is all the information I have for you guys in this video today. 25 things you might not have known about the gun running update, including secret features, hidden details, and so much more. As always, my goal with videos like this is to hopefully at least teach you one new thing. I hope it's more than that, but if you can take away one thing from this, then my job is certainly accomplished. If you guys did go and enjoy this video, though, a like rating would of course be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.